All right. It looks like we are live. Welcome, everybody. I'm Day Wilson of FODMAP Everyday. We're going to have a slow start here to allow people to gather. Hopefully, you've seen our notices all week and will be joining us. So just to give you a little background, tonight we're going to be interviewing Charmaine Duong of FODMAP Friendly. And if you are following the low FODMAP diet, Charmaine is definitely somebody that you want to know. And FODMAP Friendly is definitely a company that you should be aware of. And we're going to introduce them to you even further. So we've got a few people joining us already. We're just going to take a moment to let everyone get assembled, and then we'll start in earnest. So again, I'm Day Wilson of FODMAPeveryday.com. So if you haven't been to our website, we encourage you to come on over. We have hundreds and hundreds of original kitchen tested recipes, all low FODMAP, just for you. We have a team of registered dietitians. We have all kinds of articles on so many things that I know will be of interest to you, from timing of digestive symptoms to why the diet is not a dairy-free or a gluten-free diet, all kinds of things that maybe are a little confusing to you about the diet, but we hold your hand and take you through it step by step. So I see a few people still coming in. I'll give it a few more seconds. And in addition to FODMAPeveryday.com, so we look at our website, and when I say we, I'm talking about me and my co-founder, Robin Jaffin. She is in the back. She is handling our tech. Hi, Nicola. Nicola is saying hi from the UK. This is so great that we're going to have an international audience here. We want everyone to participate. So as I was saying, Robin and I run FODMAP every day. And while we consider our website the mothership, that's kind of what I call it, we do have a bunch of satellites like our Facebook groups. We have our main Facebook page. We run a group called Low FODMAP for Foodies. We have our Instagram page. So definitely come follow along with us in all of our various guises so you don't miss a beat. We have new content going up pretty much every day. Helly says howdy. Hopefully most of you know Helly. She moderates and runs, I don't even know how many Facebook groups at this point, but we're going to be doing an interview with Helly coming up soon. So we'll get to the bottom of that. Okay, so let's start now in earnest. I am Day Wilson of FODMAPeveryday.com, and this is a Facebook Live, and tonight we are talking with Charmaine Duong of FODMAP Friendly. Charmaine is joining us all the way from Australia. She is the business development, there she is, and marketing manager. Hi, Charmaine. Thank you so much for joining us here. And you can see, I'm in my summer clothes and I'm sweating. I'm sweating here. And Charmaine is over there in winter with her little mock turtleneck and her sweater. But we speak the same FODMAP language, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So Charmaine and Tim Moten run FODMAP Friendly. And if you're not familiar with FODMAP Friendly, you should be. They're one of the pioneers in the field of the low FODMAP diet. We're going to be talking to Charmaine about all the various things that FODMAP Friendly does, all the tools they have that can help you navigate the low FODMAP diet. So Charmaine, let's just start at the beginning. If you could give us a little bit of a background about the company and about your role.
Yeah, sure. So FODMAP Friendly is a certification trademark, so you may or may not be familiar with our green logo, which I think you might show a little bit later. Actually, I've got something here, the little green logo on this Casa de Sante.
Awesome.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
So what the certification trademark is, it indicates that a product has been tested and approved in a laboratory to be low in FODMAPs. So why we decided to start this Oh, hello, Helly. Why we decided to start this was because we were noticing that a lot of people were going on the low FODMAP diet and still were struggling to find foods that they could eat. And it is a really tricky diet. It's not something that, you could learn in an hour or two. It's something that you continually learn. And we were noticing that there were a lot of people who were going to see their dietitian or their GP and getting a high and a low FODMAP checklist, which has all of these different foods that they can and they can't eat. But in practice, when you're going through a supermarket aisle or something like that, and you pick up a food product, it's got maybe 5, 10, 15 ingredients on there. And it gets really tricky to have to calculate whether or not something is high or low in FODMAPs. So that's why our director, Tim, and Dr. Sue Shepherd decided to come up with this logo, which makes it really easy for those who are following the low FODMAP diet to pick up a product and see that, oh, this has been tested, it has been certified to be low in all of the FODMAP sugars, and that's going to be safe for me to eat.
Robin, I want Robin to put the logo up again for a moment, if she can. So I want everyone just to pay attention to the fact that there are two logos here. These are both FODMAP friendly logos. One is round, the one on the left, and one is square, the one on the right. And I want to be really specific about what they mean, because I have to say that it took me a while to understand and distinguish one from the other. So Charmaine, for the consumer, they're mostly going to see the round one that's to the left. This is the certification logo. Can you hold up the food again?
Yeah.
This is what the consumer, what you guys, everyone who's joining us here, this is what you're going to see on your food product. Here's a FODMAP for you green curry, and you can see the round FODMAP friendly certification label there. And so it's so important for people to understand that, as you mentioned, this means that the product has gone through a lab testing, and this is through a third-party lab testing. It's an independent testing agency, and it guarantees that in the serving size recommended that product is low FODMAP. And the reason why I'm just trying to really hit this message home is because I think that sometimes for consumers it's still confusing, because, for instance, we love all of the Enjoy Life products, and so many of them have gone through your certification process. And I know that, for instance, they have a product that has figs in it. And, someone might look at that and they might say, figs are high FODMAP. How is this a low FODMAP product? So could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So it's great because dietitians teach their patients what foods they should avoid. But I guess we don't really know at what point something becomes low and high, and that's where food testing comes in. When you go and test a product at a lab, you are able to see that FODMAPs increase incrementally as the serving size goes up. And there's no way that you can really tell if the figs in a product is low enough to be low in FODMAPs or high enough to be high in FODMAPs unless we do laboratory testing. So it's really important to remember that the low FODMAP diet is not a no FODMAP diet. FODMAPs exist in most carbohydrates in different levels. And where I guess we come in as the certification trademark is we are able to test exactly what's in that food and see what the FODMAP levels are. And if they are low, we will allow for our logo to be put on the packaging so that you can now identify that this food is safe to eat. And I guess going back before testing was even available, the safest option would be to completely avoid that food. But we're moving into an era where we can now actually include some of these traditionally high food products because they have been tested and they've been certified, and the manufacturing process is always the same. With Enjoy Life, there's always going to be the same amount of weight of figs in the end product, so we know that that product is always going to be safe to eat, always going to be below the thresholds.
And I think that, for people who are new to the diet, and even some people who have been on it for a while, it bears repeating that the low FODMAP diet is so serving size dependent. So just to your point, what you were saying, people can leave a doctor's office and the doctor might hand them a handout of high and low FODMAP foods, but these are gross generalizations. So for instance, maybe figs are on that list and the figs are under high FODMAP. And what the doctor's trying to tell you is don't buy these. Don't spend time or your money in the produce section probably buying figs, because for right now there's plenty of low FODMAP foods that you can be using during the elimination phase. But I think the problem is that, as you and I know, the diet is so nuanced. And the problem is that people get in their head, figs, bad, because they saw it on the high FODMAP list somewhere. Oh, Chelsea Harris is here. Chelsea says, hi, Charmaine. And so they think, that if they ever see figs anywhere, that it's a red flag. But as you were saying, it is very serving size dependent. You cannot tell by just looking at the cereal bar or looking at the granola or looking at the pasta sauce. That product has to go through a lab test in order to be for the FODMAPs to be calculated. And then if it is low FODMAP approved, it gets the stamp of approval. So at this point, let's talk about the app a little bit. So FODMAP Friendly, everybody that has joined us, if you do not have the FODMAP Friendly app, you should, and don't download it right now because we want all of your attention. But as soon as we're done, if you don't have it, you should definitely download it, because there's a lot of resources that you will have at your fingertips on your smartphone with the app, including all of the products that have gone through the certification process with FODMAP Friendly. So at this point, tell us how many products are there, and give people a sense of the breadth of the type of product, and you can even name some of the companies that are working with you.
Yeah, sure. So we've got now over 450 certified products around the world. And that's a lot. We've grown a lot over the past, couple of years, because food manufacturers are starting to realize that people are wanting these food products. There are people who are following this diet and really looking for it in the supermarket aisles. So that's really exciting. Of the US products, we've probably got around 150 in the US, which is fantastic. As you said, Enjoy Life are a big one. We've got Prego sensitive recipe pasta sauce. We've got FODMAP for You, Casa de Sante, Live Free Foods do a great range of salad dressings. There's just so many. There's Stella Labs, they do protein bars, protein shakes, and there's so many more exciting ones to come. We've actually got another 4 that we're going to release, announce, I guess, over the next couple of months as well, which is really exciting.
And I know that last week when we were talking, somebody wanted me to make sure to ask you if you were planning on doing any more testing on raw ingredients, on individual ingredients. Because for those of you who might not know, on the app, there's an area where you can go straight to products. So let's say you want a granola, you want a bread, you want a breakfast cookie, you want a spaghetti sauce. There's a section where you can go look that up, but there's also a section where you can look up raw ingredients. So if you need information on broccoli, or you need information on a type of fruit or a grain. So are you going to be doing some more research there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess encompassing our whole app, like you said, we do have the food database, which has all your everyday foods, bananas, fruits, veg, cereals, and we are always looking to test and expand on that as much as we can. At the moment, our app has percentages of each of the FODMAP groups, so it's a really valuable tool for someone who's creating a recipe at home or something like that, where they can add up all the different percentages. So for example, if something's got 20% fructans and then you're adding another ingredient which has another 10% of fructans, you'll know that it's still less than the 100% total of the FODMAP threshold. But yes, we always do want to go and test out more foods, and we're always open to suggestions as well. So if anyone has any suggestions on some foods that they really would like us to test, we are all ears. Someone emailed us not too long ago, I think maybe last year, asking for acai, and we went and tested that, and it is low in FODMAPs. So whenever you do have a suggestion, please send us an email or on our Facebook page, FODMAP Friendly. We're always happy to hear what you guys are in demand for. Yeah.
So now we're jumping around a little bit because you mentioned the website. I want to get to that, but just to go back for a moment, if those of you who have joined us, if you're not familiar with the app, what Charmaine was just talking about the percentages of individual FODMAPs, it might not make sense to you unless you're looking at the app. But when you're looking at the app, this is going to make all the sense in the world. And I want to point out that this distinguishes your app. This is a unique feature to FODMAP Friendly. So you can look up a raw ingredient, and it's not only going to tell you whether it's low FODMAP or high FODMAP and in what serving sizes it hits those levels, but it's going to tell you which FODMAP or FODMAPs it contains, and give you percentage information. And what she was getting at was about stacking. So we've got great articles on what is FODMAP stacking at FODMAP Every Day. And basically what that is let's say you know what an ingredient, let's say that you know half a cup of this particular ingredient is low FODMAP. And you know that half a cup of this ingredient is low FODMAP. But both of them happen to contain fructans. This means that both of them contain the same FODMAP. So if you eat a half a cup of this at the exact same time in the same meal that you're eating a half a cup of this, you have stacked those fructans on top of one another. You've created a FODMAP load. And, certainly for the elimination phase, this is something that we want to avoid. And so the app is really user-friendly. And I would actually like to address the fact that if you go on, I have an iPhone. So I'm always looking at the App Store on iPhone. I believe that there are some low ratings for your app. I want to just address this really directly, because if you read the comments that people have made, I think people don't understand what it is that they actually have on the app. I mean, people have said that there's nothing there, which I don't even understand. This app is so jam-packed with information. I think that if you're brand new to the diet, you don't necessarily know what to be looking for. And then, of course, all of us who are in the low FODMAP world will recommend to people that they're doing this along with a registered dietitian or their medical team, because their medical team is going to be able to help them understand the information at hand, like the information you're providing on the app. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest feedbacks that I do get about our app, is that it can be very confusing, very complex. What are these numbers actually telling me? And if you just download it and have a look at it, it can be really overwhelming, all the different percentages. But basically, I like to use the analogy of a bucket. So everyone's got their own bucket, and you don't want to overfill the bucket, because then you'll have some FODMAP intolerance symptoms. So if you add, 20% of, say, for example, you have a recipe, half a cup of something, you pop it into the bucket, it's low in FODMAPs, it hasn't filled up the bucket yet. You put another ingredient in, and the bucket is slowly filling up. And that is just basically what the percentages are telling you. What percentage of the bucket is it filling up? And at what point is the bucket going to overflow and cause your recipe to become high in FODMAPs? Yeah.
So tell us now, I know that you also do some education for people in the field, for professionals. I mean, tell us about some of the things that FODMAP Friendly does that's beyond the content that's on the app that relates to finished products and raw ingredients.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of my role as a marketing manager is I like to create content just to ensure that we're teaching consumers and patients about the low FODMAP diet, new research, little tips and tricks. So on our website, we've got a blog section, which is where we post educational pieces. You know, I think recently we just posted 5 low FODMAP snacks, simple snacks. We post new certified products, how to use them. We post low FODMAP recipes on our website. We've also got our social media pages, so on our Facebook and on our Instagram as well, which is where we also do announcements of new products, recipes. So it's all like a little hub of FODMAP information that we like to share with you guys. Another thing that we do is we do a lot of education seminars for dietitians, corporate bodies, consumers as well, where we've flown around the country, even to the States, to educate people on the low FODMAP diet. I know I think early next year we're going over to speak to some supermarkets in the States.
Ooh.
To teach. Yeah, really exciting to teach some of the dietitians there about the low FODMAP diet, because a lot of shoppers are actually going up to them and asking them, how do I find a low FODMAP product in, you know, this store? And we've got that responsibility to teach people, because it's such a new diet, I suppose. In the grand scheme of diets, the low FODMAP diet is really quite new. So we're part of our role here is to educate dietitians, consumers, and other corporations.
I just want to mention, a few people have asked if they're going to be able to view this video at a later time because there's so much to take in. And it will be on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to view it again. You'll be able to refer it to your friends who maybe have missed it. So don't worry about that. So let's talk for a moment, Robin. If you can put up the certification marks again, and let's talk about the square mark, because we haven't talked about that yet. Oh, look, Robin is like, she's like right there. Okay, so now here, I mean, both of them for the consumer, as you can see, this should be really obvious that these are related. They're the two interlocking green apps. It says FODMAP Friendly right there, but on the right, you see that there's a square one, and it says this is referencing accreditation as opposed to certification. So, for instance, FODMAP Everyday as a brand is accredited by FODMAP Friendly, and I individually am as well. And this is because FODMAP Friendly has decided that we are a reliable educator. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the square logo, where someone might see it, and what it means?
Yeah, sure. So the difference between the two logos is obviously the round one is the one that we put on products, which means the product has been tested in a laboratory and it's safe to consume. It's a product. The accreditation, unfortunately, we can't put, you know, Dee Dee through a lab to test it.
That would be ugly. I don't want to know. Well, at this point, though, I bet you I'm low FODMAP.
Well, we realized that there's so much information out on the internet, and you know, lots of people are coming up with low FODMAP recipes and educational pieces. But what we wanted to do was identify who were the reliable sources, who were the credible sources, who are creating content that is really useful and really evidence-based. Sources that have teams of dietitians behind them, like FODMAP Everyday, that were creating resources that we know are reliable and we know are safe. Now, I believe you guys have got an ebook which is also accredited. We've accredited a few books to show that these books are written by people who are credible and very well versed in the low FODMAP diet.
And I think that for those of you who are here with us, or if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, if you're new to the diet, we know, Charmaine and I and Robin, we know how confusing it is. You type low FODMAP into Google or whatever search engine you're using, and all kinds of things come up, and sometimes they're contradictory. And so how do you know what resources to use? And certainly if you have a food product that has a FODMAP friendly certification on it, you know for sure that that food is low FODMAP. And similarly, if you're looking at recipes or a book, like Emma Hatcher has that great book. She's from She Can't Eat What. She's accredited by FODMAP friendly. So she would be another example, along with us, of a resource where you can find recipes and information that's going to accurately represent the diet. And, you know, I think that we just have to, we can't hit that home enough, I think, because you can find things online, unfortunately, that say they're low FODMAP and they're not. And so there has to be some way to differentiate between those who are really knowledgeable and those who might not be. So tell us so you have some new food products coming out that you said. Now, is it 4 new brands, or when you said there's 4 certified things coming up, are those brands, new brands?
4 brands, yeah.
Wow.
So across them will be, you know, maybe 10, 15 products that are coming out, which is really, really exciting. Or actually might be closer to 20 products. And hopefully we should have them ready to announce by Fancy. I don't know if we've got any dietitians who have logged on, but Fancy is a big expo that's happening in Philadelphia. And there's, you know, dietitians from all across the states who come and, you know, want to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the industry. We will be there, and hopefully we'll have some exciting announcements there on some new brands that FODMAPs can now eat.
And that's the end of October, so it's not that, I hate to say it's not that far away. I mean, it's still August here, but, you know, time does fly. So that will be, and are some of the brands US based? Can you tell us?
Yes, they are US based. I can't say who they are yet.
I understand.
They are US based.
Excellent. And so tell us, I know we chatted a little bit about the website, and apparently you have some overhauls coming over. You're going to be improving the website. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I know our website can, you know, we're always looking for ways to improve on the experience on our website, and a lot of people go onto our website to access what sort of certified products, what sort of certified brands are available, and also low FODMAP recipes, news, education pieces. And we, I guess, found a few ways that we could improve. First thing I really wanted to change was to include a country filter so that people could go onto the website and go, I want US products, I want US cereals specifically.
Awesome.
And they're going to be completely filtered, so user-friendly. We're working with a really exciting web developer in Melbourne who's going to completely overhaul our website to make it a lot more beautiful, a lot more user-friendly, and hopefully it will also be ready in a couple of months' time.
Oh, that's excellent. So that you are you coming over? You will be there at Fancy?
I will be there. Yeah, so please say hi if anyone is going to be there.
So tell us about are there any other plans you can let us in on? Or, I mean, I know we've covered a lot, but I just, you know, this is your opportunity to educate and help people understand who FODMAP Friendly is and how it can help them navigate the low FODMAP diet.
Yeah, so we know that there are a lot of US followers who follow us, and there are a lot of people in the US who follow the low FODMAP diet, and we know that that is an area that we are growing in, and we really want to put a lot of our effort and resources into helping that market grow and allowing more food products to be available for you guys in the States. So we are, you know, dabbling in some conferences over there in the States, also in overseas and other places as well. We're going to be going to different trade shows, which is always a great way to get to know brands, but also put ourselves out there as well, let people know of our mission. Overall, we just really would like to be able to expand on what people can eat. You know, we really realize that restriction is of the diet, of any diet, I suppose, is not great for you. And it can be so isolating, you know, not being able to eat out or not being able to go to the supermarket and buy whatever you like. So we're working really closely with some, you know, different companies over in the States to really push for a little bit more information and opportunity in the low FODMAP diet. Like I mentioned before, in the supermarkets, it would be really great to have, FODMAP sections in there, some FODMAP talks in some of the big supermarkets over there, which is something that we're working on. Yeah, so lots of
Donna just said, all of this is exciting, and it is. And just so for those of you who were just listening to Charmaine, I just want to make it clear how exciting it is, which she just said. So Charmaine was mentioning that they're going to be going to trade shows and meeting with different supermarket chains. And so just so you guys know, you as the consumer, this is how foods get to your supermarket shelf. New products are released at industry trade shows, then distributors. That's where distributors go. That's where representatives from supermarket chains go. Marketing companies go. They go looking for new products. They go looking for new trends. This is how those things are identified, and that's how they filter down. That's like the top of the funnel, and that's how they filter down and finally end up on your shelf. So what you can do as a consumer is simultaneously to Charmaine and Tim's hard work, you could be saying to your supermarket manager, I went over to the gluten-free section and I know there's tons of food there, and I know you have things labeled as lactose-free and allergen-free, but the low FODMAP diet is where it's at. This is why it's important that you're paying attention to it. Come armed with a few little statistics. Tell them 1 in 5 people worldwide have irritable bowel syndrome, and 75% of those people could be possibly symptom-free if they followed this diet. Those are the kinds of numbers that get people to open their eyes. And so you could be going to your supermarket manager and saying, even bring in, if you have a little thing from Casa de Sante or something that's FODMAP friendly certified and you've loved it, doesn't matter if it's open and it's got lots of yummy drips on that side of it, bring it into your supermarket manager. Go, look, this is the kind of product that's being made right now. This is what that little certification means. And you have customers. 1 in 5 of your customers, they may not even know it yet, but 1 in 5 of your customers would want this product. So we can also help you while you're helping us. And I know that Robin and I have been it's been so exciting watching the numbers of products that you guys have been certifying over the last year. I mean, it's just tremendous. For anyone who has been joining us late, just tell us again some of the numbers of the products that you've got out there right now.
Yeah, sure. So we've got over 450 certified products now. Yeah, and without a doubt, we're going to hit 500, maybe even 600 by the end of the year. It's just insane how many food companies are wanting to certify their products, because you guys out there are telling them that this is what you're after. There is a big demand for it. 1 in 5 people, that's so many people across the world. And we're working really hard to teach companies, teach supermarket chains just how prevalent the IBS and low FODMAP diet is. People are really wanting this, and the market is really catching on. It's almost like a snowball effect. One person gets it and someone else is like, what is this diet? I want to make sure that my product can cater to this low FODMAP population. It's really exciting. And in the US, we've got 150 certified products, and hopefully a few more over the next few months that we're able to announce. And we just see it absolutely booming. Our numbers are growing exponentially in the US. Typically, most of our products are in Australia. We've got some in the UK, a couple in Europe as well, New Zealand and Canada. We've got some, but the US is a really big and growing numbers. So it's really, really exciting.
Well, we're going to wrap up. I want everyone to know that you can view this again on the FODMAP Everyday YouTube channel. You should, as soon as we're off camera, you should go download the FODMAP Friendly app if you haven't already. Through the app, you can identify commercial products, all kinds of breads and granolas and snack bars and pasta sauces and soups and all kinds of things. And if you haven't tried any of the FODMAP Friendly certified products yet, you should order some, and then you'll understand what we're talking about. There can be absolutely delicious commercially prepared products that are certified low FODMAP by FODMAP Friendly. And then just lastly, Charmaine invited you all to let her know, she and Tim know, if there's something that you would like to be tested. So just, just slam them with requests. I'm sure that they'll do the best that they can. We're all in this to make this diet, we want, I don't know if I want to say easy, but we all want to make this diet as navigatable as possible, if that's a word. So Charmaine, thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Well, thank you for everyone who joined us. Tell everybody that they can go view the video on our YouTube, and we'll see you next time on another Facebook Live. I'm Day Wilson of FODMAP Every Day. Bye.
Bye.